When it comes to investing, we talk a lot about offense and defense. But what if we looked at it like a samurai? With a disciplined code, a focused mind, and a perfectly forged strategy? In this explainer, we're diving into a powerful philosophy for not just surviving, but actually thriving when things get chaotic. Think about it. Every market downturn, every global crisis, it's a kind of economic war. The battlefield is volatile, totally unpredictable. And in that fight, every single asset you own is right there on the front lines. So you've really got to ask yourself, is my portfolio built like a disciplined soldier, ready for anything? Or is it just waiting to become another casualty? Now, before we get to the warrior's path, we first have to look at the standard issue equipment most investors are given. This is the conventional wisdom, right? It's the common shield everyone grabs when trouble starts brewing. It's the strategy we all know, but is it really the strategy we need? And hey, the logic here makes sense. When things get tough, people still need the basics. They're not going to stop buying things like Tylenol, paper towels, or even a Coca-Cola. So investing in these consumer staples is kind of like having a basic shield. It offers some protection for sure. But as any warrior will tell you, a shield alone doesn't win the battle. It's an incomplete defense. So let's lay out the two paths you see here. On one side, you've got the common shield. It's all about what consumers want to buy. It's a purely defensive move. But on the other side, well, that's the warrior's code. It has a completely different focus, a totally different set of assets, and a strategy that's way more strategic. Let's dig into what that actually means. This is where we make the switch. We go from just being defensive to being strategically brilliant. See, the warrior's code isn't about hiding behind a shield. It's about deeply understanding the battlefield. And it's a philosophy called the biological minimum. So what is this thing? Well, the biological minimum strategy completely flips the script. Instead of worrying about what millions of different people might buy, you focus on what one single giant entity, the government, must buy. No questions asked. This means you zero in on the supply chains for critical health and biosecurity. You're shifting from what people want to what a nation absolutely cannot live without. This quote right here, it just nails the entire concept. In a real crisis, sure, consumer spending gets weird. But the government, it steps in with overwhelming force. It literally becomes the world's largest customer, the biggest, most motivated buyer on the entire planet for anything related to health and security. And just look at how this visualizes that power shift. That first little bar, that's typical consumer spending. It's pretty steady. But that second bar, wow. During a crisis, government spending in these critical areas doesn't just go up, it explodes. It absolutely dwarfs everything else. You're not betting against the market, you're aligning with the single most powerful economic force on the field. Okay, so we've got the philosophy, the warrior's code, but a code is just words, right? A warrior needs a weapon, so now we have to forge the financial blade. How do we actually build a portfolio around this powerful idea? The method really boils down to three principles. First, you pinpoint the real crisis essentials. We're talking beyond consumer wants to the basic building blocks of biological survival. Second, you target the supply chains, investing in the companies that make the raw materials for critical medicines. And third, you secure the logistics. That means focusing on the healthcare delivery systems that actually get those medicines where they need to go. It's the whole shebang, from the raw material all the way to the patient. And here's the crucial part. When you invest this way, you're not just taking a guess. You're positioning your assets to become a key part of the government's most aggressive stimulus programs. Your portfolio becomes a direct beneficiary of that massive, non-negotiable spending we saw on that chart a minute ago. So what's the end result of all this? What happens when you adopt this warrior's code? Well, you move way beyond a simple shield. You start building a crisis-proof fortress. It's an investment strategy designed not just to withstand a siege, but to actually grow stronger because of it. The advantages become crystal clear. Your portfolio isn't just plain defense anymore. It's strategically positioned on the most important part of the battlefield. It's aligned with that unstoppable force of government spending. It's fundamentally designed to thrive on volatility, turning chaos into an advantage. You basically create a fortress that can withstand any economic siege. And that really brings us to the final thought here. It's always easy to build a strategy based on the last crisis we just went through. But the wise warrior, the truly disciplined investor, prepares not for the last battle, but for the next one. So take a look at your own portfolio. Is your strategy really ready?